Previously on Hell Nah to Easter. I mistook Gerald's romantic gesture for a marriage proposal after 3 weeks of dating, kicked off my heels, and sprinted through a five-star restaurant like I was training for the Olympics. Turns out, he was just giving me a key to his flat. I am, as the kids say, a complete disaster. I'm so fucking stupid. No, seriously, like monumentally, historically, this should be studied by scientists level of stupid. Why, you ask? Well, it's kind of obvious, isn't it? I thought Gerald was going to propose to me after a few weeks of dating when, in reality, he was about to hand me a key to his apartment. A totally normal, sweet, non-terrifying romantic gesture that any functional human being would have appreciated. But not me. No, I had to go full panic mode, channel my inner Usain Bolt, and flee the scene like I was escaping a bank heist. So what did I do after that? I ran home, tears streaming down my face, mascara everywhere, looking like a rejected contestant on The Bachelor. I booked the first flight to Paris, and I left Ireland. No explanation, no apology, just me, a carry-on suitcase, and a burning sense of shame that could power a small city. The aftermath, aka why I'm the worst. As soon as I touched down at Charles de Gaulle Airport, my phone exploded with messages. My mother, "What did you do?" Shane, "Gerald showed up at the house looking like a kicked puppy. Explain." My mother again, "He told us what happened." "A key? You ran away because of a key?" Shane again, "You're an idiot." They demanded an explanation, and like a mature, emotionally intelligent adult, I blocked their numbers. Yep, I blocked my own mother and Shane because that's definitely the healthiest way to handle conflict. Paris, the land of croissants and emotional reckoning. I spent 3 days in Paris, wandering around like a sad ghost in a beret, eating my weight in pastries and questioning every life decision I'd ever made. And then I met up with François and Marny. Remember them? The fake couple who were supposed to con Francois's deeply religious parents into thinking they were madly in love so he could avoid marrying the creepy doll-collecting priest daughter? Yeah, about that. Plot twist, they're actually engaged now. For real, not fake, not for show, legitimately engaged. Turns out Francois is bisexual. And somewhere between the fake video calls and the elaborate Catholic family dinners, he and Marty actually fell in love? I don't know how it happened, Francois told me over espresso at a cafe near the Eiffel Tower. One day I was pretending to be smitten, and the next day I actually was. Marnie grinned, showing off a gorgeous vintage ring. He proposed on a bridge over the Seine. Very romantic, very French, I cried. I cried too, Francois admitted. We both cried, Marnie confirmed. I stared at them, incredulous. So, you told your parents? Francois' smile faltered. Yes, the day before you landed. And? My father collapsed. Oh my God! They say it was a heart attack, but I'm pretty sure he just fainted. Very dramatically. He always had a flair for the theatrical. And your mother? Francois sighed. She told me I'm dead to her. They've officially disowned me, cut me off financially, blocked my number, the whole works. Francois, I'm so sorry. Don't be. He reached across the table and squeezed Marnie's hand. I have her now. And honestly, I've never been happier. Marny beamed at him. We're flying back to Ireland with you. Francois has been saving for years. Turns out when you're pretending to be straight and engaged to multiple women, you don't spend much money. So he's buying my family's farm outright. He's going to build my parents a bungalow in the backyard so they can retire, and we're going to live there. Together. Wow, I said, genuinely touched. That's that's actually beautiful. I know, right? Marnie said. Who knew I'd find true love while committing light fraud? Francois laughed. Only you, mon amour. Only you. Dublin Airport. The scene of my redemption, or further humiliation. So here I am. Dublin Airport, 2 a.m. Francois and Marnie took a different flight because theirs was cheaper. They're in love, not rich. So I'm walking through passport control alone, dragging my suitcase behind me like a metaphor for my emotional baggage. I'm exhausted. I smell like airplane. My hair looks like it was styled by a tornado. And then I see him, Gerald, standing there, holding flowers. Daisies, to be specific. My favorite. How does he even know that? He smiles when he sees me, this soft, tentative, heartbreakingly hopeful smile, and I instantly feel like the worst person on the planet. I know I've messed up. Big time. He walks over, his eyes searching mine, trying to read me. There's concern written all over his face, but also relief. Like he's just glad I came back. Hi, he says quietly. Hi, I manage to choke out. And then he hands me the flowers. And I burst into tears. The apology I should have given days ago. I'm so sorry, I sob, clutching the daisies like they're a lifeline. I'm so sorry. I completely overreacted. I panicked. I thought you were proposing, and I freaked out because my parents' marriage was a disaster, and I'm terrified I'm going to repeat their mistakes. And I know that's not an excuse, but hey. Gerald gently cups my face, wiping away my tears with his thumbs. It's okay. It's not okay. I ran away. I blocked my own mother. Yeah, Shane told me about that. He's very concerned about your mental health. I let out a watery laugh. I'm a mess. You're my mess, he says softly. And that's when I know. I know this man is the one for me. I knew it in the quiet moments in the car when he'd hold my hand and hum along to the radio. I knew it on the strolls through the park when Fergus would run off and we'd laugh trying to catch him. I knew it during the late night Netflix binges when he let me pick the show even though I always chose true crime documentaries that gave him nightmares. I knew it when I was sick with the flu and he made me hot drinks, tucked me into bed, and sat beside me reading aloud until I fell asleep. I knew it when he'd research topics for my blog. Sustainability, Irish folklore, obscure historical events, just because he wanted to be helpful. I knew it in the way he'd watch me work, this quiet smile on his face like he couldn't believe I was real. Gerald is it. He's everything I want. And suddenly, a plan starts to form. The Grand Gesture, aka Marny, Part 2. Shane owns a bit of land. Actually, He owns a small bungalow that he's been renovating for the past few years so he can rent it out. My mom suggested I move into it months ago, but I always said no because I didn't want to be alone. But now I see it could be the perfect starter home. A place to build a future. A place for my forever to begin. With Gerald. I open my mouth to tell him all of this, to tell him I love him, that I want to spend the rest of my life with him, that I'm ready. But he speaks first. I'm sorry, he says, his voice thick with emotion. I'm sorry for pushing you. Moving in together was too much too fast. I should have been more considerate. I promise I'll never pressure you into something you're not ready for again. And then he starts crying, full on sobbing, right there in the middle of Dublin Airport. I grab his face and kiss him. Hard. When I pull back, I'm smiling. Stop apologizing, you absolute idiot. But I love you, I say. I love you so much it terrifies me. I can't see a future without you. You're the man I've always pictured when I imagined my life. You're my world, my everything. He stares at me, tears still streaming down his face. You love me? Yes, you beautiful, emotional disaster. I love you. And then, because apparently I've lost my entire mind, I drop to one knee. Right there, in the arrivals terminal at 2 a.m., and I pull out the key he gave me at the restaurant. Yes, I kept it, obviously. Gerald, I say, my voice shaking, will you move into Shane's bungalow with me and start building a life together? For a moment, he just stares at me. Then he yanks me to my feet. Absolutely not, he says firmly. My heart sinks. What? It's a man's job to propose, not a lady's. I blink at him. Gerald, that's the most sexist thing you've ever... But, he interrupts, grinning now, I do want a future with you. So yes, let's move in together. Let's build something. Let's figure this out. And then he kisses me. Right there in the middle of Dublin Airport at 2 a.m. with like 3 other people around because it's the middle of the night and airports are weird. But I don't care because this is everything. Epilogue. Hell yes to Gerald. It started with hell nah to Easter, a holiday that I hated because of bad memories, terrible timing, and a man who disappeared. But it ended with hell yes to Gerald, a man who came back, a man who waited, a man who loved me even when I was running away in stolen heels. This has been one hell of a year. Thank you for joining us on this wild, chaotic, emotionally exhausting journey. I've been your host, Burke Hell, and this series was written and produced by Joao Nisita. Special thanks to my mother for being overbearing, Shane for being unbreakable, Francois for being gay, but also bi, Marny for being a legend, and Gerald for being, well, Gerald. See you next Easter. Or maybe not. We'll see.